This happened about a year ago. My best friend Randy was coming over for Monday Night Football. It's our typical Monday night routine during football season. Randy always comes to my place because I've got the 65-inch Samsung with a soundbar. It has super sharp 4K high resolution that puts us on the 50-yard line. We're big fans and always have our NFL gear on. We are particularly stoked when the Bengals are playing. Randy and I are both from Blue Ash, just north of Cincinnati, and went to the same high school. We both live in Atlanta now and work for the same company in computer programming. We were scrawny kids in high school, scrawny nerdy kids at the University of Cincinnati, and scrawny computer geeks working in Atlanta. We weren't your archetypal football players. We were skinny, glasses-wearing weaklings who could run a supercomputer at light speed, but not catch a football. After Randy arrived, we placed an order for a large Honolulu Hawaiian pizza from Domino's for delivery. It's awesome. Ham and pineapple with smoked bacon, roasted red peppers, mozzarella, and provolone cheese. We order the same pizza every Monday. As the pregame activities began, a knock at the door rapped through the house. Randy shouted to me in the kitchen, "That was fast. I just called the pizza order in. I'll get it. Bring me a beer." Randy bounded from the couch to the front door, counting out the $17.99 for the 14-inch and asking if I had tip money. Randy swung open the door, still digging in his wallet for bills. He didn't even see what hit him. His body crumpled to the floor, lights out. All I saw was Randy hitting the floor from the kitchen, where I was taking a $5 from my wallet. I had no idea what had taken place. I just yelled, "Randy, you alright, buddy?" And I dashed over to him, cuddling his head frantic, not knowing why he had passed out or fainted or what had happened. I yelled to the pizza delivery guy, "Call 911." I heard the door shut and lock before I looked up. As I did, a huge guy wearing a clown face turned around and looked down at me. Shock jolted me and I fell backward from my kneeling position, letting Randy's head thud on the entry floor. My head was spinning from fright. All the blood had left my head as I looked into the eyes of this unimaginably hideous clown. His face was huge and painted white over massive wrinkles. Lips painted grotesquely black exaggerated the enormous size of his huge mouth. It was the scariest mouth I have ever seen. It was huge and gaping open, revealing twisted, rotted teeth. I started losing consciousness, but before I did, I felt a crack to my skull, and all went black. When I awoke, my feet and hands were tied, and I was sitting on the left side of the couch facing the Samsung, with the first quarter underway. I felt the big body breathing heavily on my right of the clown. I opened my eyes and peered around him, and I could see the bound legs of Randy sitting on the other side of the beast. We both sat there, not moving, the beast applauding loudly at each play, grunting and cheering in guttural sounds. At halftime, there came a knock at the door. I knew instantly it was the pizza delivery, just as always, as the band entered the field. The beast, in a great heft, pushed himself up and off the couch and lumbered to the door. Randy and I looked at each other. Randy mouthing, "Give me your hands, I can untie you." I could hear the door unlock and open, and the voice of the pizza guy cheerfully announcing, "Game night Hawaiian." Then came a smack of the massive fist of the beast, making contact with the pizza delivery driver's face. The clatter of the pizza box hitting the entry floor, and the return of a fist to the monster's face I could hear. Randy untied my hands, and I untied him. We both worked feverishly to untie our legs. Together, we charged the clown. Randy grabbing his legs, and I jumped on his back, putting him in a headlock. The pizza delivery guy shoots fist after fist into his face. The clown didn't want to go down. He threw us around like rag dolls, but we held on, and the pizza guy, taking punishing blows, jabbed back with practiced accuracy. The battle raged for 5 minutes before I could apply enough pressure to shut off his windpipe. He pushed his way out of the house, flinging me off of him like a rag doll. Pizza guy slammed the door and threw the bolt, barricading us in the house. Randy ran back to the living room to retrieve his cell phone, calling 911. When the police arrived, there was no sign of the monster clown. We gave our story and they put out an APB. but nothing ever came of it. That scary clown must still be out there. Do you have a boyfriend who torments you after you've broken up? I do. I'm 31 years old and have been running from my ex-boyfriend for 5 years. He is pure evil. He wasn't always a tormentor. When we met, we had marvelous times together. I was 25 and working as a pizza maker at a local pizzeria. Mike was a delivery driver working part-time evenings and a medical student at the university. He was intelligent and funny, having an excellent sense of humor. He would joke about me cutting up body parts and cooking them into my pizzas and serving them to the families he had the job of delivering to. I'd say, "Here's the mushroom, onion, and heart pizza for the Smith order. Rush it over while the heart's still beating, please." We would laugh, and he would make a ghoulish face and put a hump in his back and say, "Yes, master. One beating heart pizza for the Smith's lovely new home. They should love the sacrifice of the dead," and sweep his coat like Dracula's cape and head to his delivery car. He'd return in 20 minutes and say, "Your bidding done, master. What is the next delivery?" We played this game and laughed so hard it hurt. I loved his acting, and he encouraged me to think up the wildest secret menu items for our unsuspecting customers. Mike said he never delivered with his car, but used his magic powers to appear at the door and just as quickly disappear. The customers always scratching their heads at how they got the warm pizza into their hands. He called himself the Pizza Flash. I admonished him to drive safely. There was always time to get the pizza to the homes warm. Well, our relationship went on for about a year. The first 6 months really were fun, but as the year wore on, he got a little weird. He said it was the stress of working at night and still studying for his medical exams. He said the stress was killing him. He complained incessantly about his professors having a vendetta against him and purposely not accepting his research in the lab as unprofessional and not worthy of a future doctor. We broke up in a huge blow-up. I just couldn't be around him. He cursed and slammed doors, and the customers complained about his rudeness when he delivered their pizzas, asking for a new driver. I finally told Mike it was over. He made life for me at the pizzeria unbearable. I had to quit and get a new position at another restaurant to escape him. On my first evening at the new restaurant, I returned home late and settled in for a quiet night of watching a movie to get off my feet. As I sat curled on the couch, I heard the doorbell ring, which was strange since it was late and nobody visited me unannounced at home. I went to the door and peeked through the peephole, and no one was there, so I returned to the couch and the movie. After getting comfortable, the doorbell rang again. "What the heck?" I said to myself. Went back to the door and peeked again through the peephole, and no one was there. This time, I opened the door to look, and on the front step was a pizza box from the old pizzeria I had quit. Picked it up, heavy and warm, and took it into the kitchen, thinking it was from the manager since we had ended on good terms. But when I opened the box, pure terror shot through my body. I went limp, hardly able to stand, and screamed. Inside the pizza box was a Supreme Deluxe Meat Thick Crust Pizza, steaming hot. What caused the terror was the horror of a gruesomely severed hand placed in the center of the pizza. I was incoherent when I called the police. When the police arrived, I told them that my prime suspect for this hideous pizza was my ex, pizza delivery driver and medical student. The police contacted the university, investigated the medical research lab, and discovered one of the corpses had been tampered with and a hand was missing. The pizzeria said that Mike had taken a Supreme Deluxe Meat Pizza for delivery. Still, the customer called and complained the pizza never arrived. Mike had never returned to the restaurant and is still missing. I married a wonderful man 5 years later, and we moved to Dallas. On our first night in our new home, the doorbell rang, and my new husband went to the door and returned to the kitchen with a pizza box. "Honey, did you order a pizza?" We cautiously opened the pizza box, and centered on a mushroom pepperoni pizza was a woman's finger with a wedding band and a bloody note. "Congratulations. Welcome to your new home." In my senior year of high school, I was 18 and never had a girlfriend. I wasn't athletic, handsome, or particularly smart. So when an unexpected opportunity arose with two babes, I jumped feet first. The fall for those girls nearly killed me. Here is my terrifying story. The winter semester of high school was pretty typical for me. I studied hard to make reasonable grades and worked my ass off on Friday and Saturday nights as a delivery driver for the pizza carryout in our town. When I graduate, I plan to manage a pizzeria, and someday I'll own a pizza restaurant, was my plan. So I took my delivery seriously, learning how to give the best service and how to get the best tips. On one Saturday night, I was given a last run that was farther out than we usually deliver. The order was 6 deluxe pizzas, which should get a great tip as a big order. We usually promise 10-minute delivery from the oven in town, but this would be lucky in 15. It was a challenge to see if I could, even if I did break the carryouts rule of no speeding on delivery. I figured it was near midnight and the roads would be empty, especially on the country road. I arrived at the house exactly in 10 minutes. It was an old farmhouse with a long dirt driveway that kicked up dust cloud as I drove to the front door. I was full of myself carrying the boxes to the door. When I rang the doorbell, I was beaming with the expectation of a big tip for top performance. When the door opened, I said, "Pizza, hot from the oven as we always promise, 10 minutes from the oven fresh." I couldn't see who opened the door as the stack of pizzas blocked my view, but I heard a beautiful voice say with a giggle, "Oh, you marvelous man. Please come in and take the pizza to the kitchen and I'll fetch your money." The music was up, playing dance music so loud it was hard to hear inside, but there wasn't anyone there. I expected a party to be in full swing as I placed the boxes on the kitchen counter, but no one was there. When I turned around, a girl in her 20s with long blonde hair wearing a miniskirt that hugged her hips and holding a glass of champagne danced into the room, flinging her body up against mine saying, "Dance with me, handsome." I wasn't going to let this moment pass, and it was already a great story for my buddies at school. Besides, she looked rich, so why not if this would increase the tip? We bumped bodies as she shimmied up and down in front of me. It was a massive turn-on that I could not hide. She took my arm and led me into the living room, where the lights were dimmed and colored lights flashed around the room. Her hands were all over me. I'm dancing as I have never danced before. I could not believe this was happening to me. I closed my eyes to take in the music and the feeling of this beautiful girl all over me. Then I felt another pair of soft hands take hold of my ears. "What the F?" I said to myself as I turned around, and a second girl was twisting in the music with her hands in the air. I took a double take. She was the spitting image of the first girl. Identical twins? OMG, is this even real? I could not believe my luck. I was dancing to heaven with identical twins. Is this an 18-year-old's wet dream or what? They were both all over me with their hands and kissing my face and neck. My rocket was about to explode. Then the front door opened, and 8 men in their late 20s entered. They were tough-looking gangsters wearing cowboy boots and denim work jackets. Not farmers or laborers, but real gangsters. The biggest of them, at least 6'5" and 280 pounds. He grabbed me by the neck in one hand and lifted me up onto my toes. "Who the F are you?" I stammered, I'm just a pizza delivery guy. "You getting off on my party favors, pizza boy?" Looking me dead in the eye. I couldn't speak with his hand crushing my throat. "I'll teach you not to touch what isn't yours." "Throw him in the cellar," he shouted, and 2 of the other thugs took my arms and carried me like a leaf to the cellar door and pushed me. I tumbled down the steps head over heels, landing at the bottom, bruised and battered. My windpipe still hurt from his grasp. The cellar was dark except for the moonlight coming through a small window in the back. I limped, found a chair, and climbed up, squeezing out. Once in the night air, I recovered enough to gather my thoughts about what had just happened. I ran to my car where I had left the keys in the ignition. I started the engine, thankful that the music in the house was still blasting away. I left without turning on my lights, hoping not to be followed, and drove like a madman to make my escape. I'm sure those two girls were going to get me killed just for fun.
Subscribe.